My name is Fredrik Lindqvist, and I'm a visual artist. And I have studied in Sweden. I also grown up in Sweden, in the south part of Sweden, in Bromölla. It's a small village. And then I wanted to study art because I wanted to be an artist, a visual artist. So I've studied in a city called Kristianstad. That's in the south part of Sweden, in Skåne. And then I have studied also in the north part of Sweden at the Umeå Art Academy. And there I stayed for 3 years. And that's a long time ago. It was in the 90s, so it's maybe 30 years ago. So then I went to Germany to study there at the Art Academy in München. And then after that, I also studied in Düsseldorf at the Art Academy there. So I was finished then in the year 2000. And after that, I have just worked as a visual artist. I've made a lot of exhibitions in Germany, in Sweden, in Scandinavia, Norway, Finland, Italy, Spain, and all over Europe. So now I work as an artist, and I make my work mostly is that I print with woodcuts on fabrics, on textiles. And I work with with everything that I have met in my life. It can be something that happened in my youth, or as I was a children, or something that happened now in the city, or politics, or everything. But usually I work with this quite old technique, woodcuts. And I think it's a very interesting technique because it's very, it's a very strong technique. It was for me very interesting to work with that. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah.
Yeah, super. Thank you so much. Well, I mean, I saw your work at Liljevalchs Kunsthal recently.
Yes.
And it was amazing. I was extremely impressed by this piece. It was a very large-scale piece of textile with a very, I would call it perhaps, I mean, it's not surrealist, but there are figures and landscape printed on fabric, and it was very good. So can you tell me how you got into the exhibition?
Yeah, it's also a very big woodcut, and to print this woodcut, because a woodcut, I cut this out from wooden plates with sharp knives. And I just tell a little bit about it first, how I do it technical. I start with 25 plates. So I have 25 parts because of plates, wooden plates. Because if I would try to print this big thing with a printing machine, it would not work because it would be too big. So that's why I have this plate in parts. And I also always work on the floor. So at first I made sketches on the wooden plates, and after that I cut it out, all things with very sharp knives. And after that I printed on this different colored or already patterned textiles. And then it's like that. If you do a woodcut, everything where I cut something away, there will be no ink. So it's like a print or a stamp like that, or what you call it in English, potato print or something like that. So where on these places where I don't have cut something on away, there it will get some ink on it. So after I have rolled the plate with ink on it, it goes through a printing machine, and that's a metallic roller that roll over the fabric or textiles, and then I got a print on it. And then I sometimes have to print the same plate many times, because I use different colored textiles also, and sometimes also pattern colored textiles. So then I have to print them several times to get this thing. And I also there work on the floor. I put prints on the floor, and when I finish everything, and then I sew this thing together with stitches. And these stitches are very important for me also, because they have the strength or so together with the woodcut. So I think also the stitches are very important for me. So I don't use glue or something to put them together. I just use these stitches. And then for me, it's important also, to me, this work was very big, and was important for me. That's a big landscape, and for me, it was also important to describe how it is nowadays with the nature and everything, and how will it be in the future with the nature. How will it be with politics in the future or something like that? Because we have leaders nowadays that they want to have more from every land or so. So that's what I'm working with, also with the nature and with how we should maybe do it better in the future or something like that. A little bit for me to describe. I'm not so used to talk English, but it's like that something, yeah.
Super, thank you so much. And so you applied to this Vårdsalongen, right?
Yeah.
And then you got selected by the curators.
Yeah, it is. Every year they have a new what you call it, jury, and then you have to apply. So I made it. I have done an apply, and then I think I applied with 5 pictures, but I make mostly very big pictures. So and they don't have so much space for everyone. So they use this big pictures for the exhibition. And yeah, it was funny for me. I've took part in maybe, I think that was 9th time that I took part in this exhibition. But it's a very interesting exhibition. So for you young people, it can be very interesting to exhibit your work there, to maybe also then make application, because they have about 100,000 visitors there. So it's very interesting to take part, and also the opening is very interesting, because there are also many visitors, and the most people who are interested in art, they go there to take a look. So yeah, and I think this year they have I think 3,400 people wanted to exhibit there, and I think that 255 artists could be a part of this exhibition. So yeah.
Super. Thank you so much. Could you said that you did the famous Düsseldorf Academy of Arts.
Yeah.
Could you describe a little bit your trajectory from the time you were there to some highlights you had in your career?
In my career or on the academy or in the whole career or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, because I've studied there at the art academy in Düsseldorf, and it was very interesting to study there because now it's a long time ago. It was maybe 30 years ago almost, but it was very interesting there to because there were students from the whole world there. So it was very interesting. And there were also, at this time, very good teachers, professors, and something like that. There were very well-known, famous teachers like Rosemarie Trockel, for example, or painters like Penck or Immendorf. So it was very interesting. And I also at every year there was exhibition for the students, and there were also many galleries who visit this exhibition. So I got a gallery then at the last year, and I could exhibit my works on this gallery. And they took me to art fairs in Sydney or Frankfurt or Cologne, Köln. So it was very important for me to study there because so my my career started there after the academy. And I don't know what to say, what was my best things at the career, but it was very important to start like this. And then I got also important exhibitions in Sweden, like in Stockholm or like Liljevalchs, or also at the Art Academy, Kunstakademin, or at some galleries in Stockholm also. But also I had exhibitions in Germany, or for example, the gallery in Cologne, they had me on the art fair in Sydney also, and that was also interesting. So it was a start for me to work with art, and I'm glad also that I can still, or from the beginning, make a living from the art. So I don't have to have a job or so besides. So I can work 100% with my art, so I'm very glad for that.
Super. Well, congratulations. I mean, that's amazing. And could you tell us a bit about how you are part of the Moderna Museet collection, right?
Yeah, the Moderna Museet collection, yeah.
And
Yeah.
so how did it work? Was it a gallery? Did you sell directly? What was the story behind the acquisition?
Yeah, they just have a small piece of work. It's a piece of work on paper, a woodcut on paper. And it was like that that I sold a picture to the National Gallery also. They had what you call it when you do a lot of pictures, graphics. Don't find the word. In Swedish, upplaga. And then the National Gallery in Sweden, also the Museum of Modern Art, Moderna Museet, they got this picture. So they have that picture in their. Now I forgot the words here. But they have this picture, yeah. So it's just a small picture, but it was over. It was like this. Grafiska Sällskapet who sold this picture, like a gallery or so, yeah.
So you sold it through a gallery, or?
Yeah, and then they sold it to Moderna Museet, for example. But that's the only picture I have there. But I have pictures here in Munich at the, for example, very big pictures on fabrics also, for example. So that's a picture on a textile, a woodcut. So I also have on other museums also. But in Stockholm, that's it is a woodcut, yeah, on paper, yeah.
Thank you. And throughout your career, have you been applying for grants or fellowships or competitions? What's your system to be beyond the studio, to reach out to galleries, to have funds for your work?
Yeah. At first it was like this, that it was very important to me to study at the art academy, because on the art academy, of course, you also getting better as artists, because you can practice the whole day, every day, all time. You can practice, of course. That's the most important. But also important is that you get connections on art academy. I got connections on art academy in Umeå, and I also got these connections on the art academy in Düsseldorf, for example. Like I told you before, I got this gallery because of this exhibition on the art academy in Düsseldorf. But I also of course, for grants or something like that. I also have to apply, of course, for grants. In Sweden, it's very good with the grants because you can apply for Konstnärsnämnden, we say in Sweden. You can apply for grants for 1 year or for 2 years, and if you get a grant, I've got them several times, but if you get the grants from Konstnärsnämnden, like you say, it's in Stockholm, you get for 2 years 240,000 crowns. And that's very good for artists, because you can buy materials and you can work, and that's very good. And it's also tax-free, so that's also important. So that's if you're a young artist or after the academy, you can apply for this grants, stipendium, like we say in Sweden. So that's very important. And also first at the beginning, of course, I also made applies for exhibitions, and so I, for example, give galleries or art halls or so-called, if I could send them some material to show what I'm doing. So that was also very important at the beginning. But then suddenly it started like that and I'm very glad for it, that the art halls or museums or galleries, they contacted me, or they contact me now. So now I have done this so long time, so now many of them maybe know my name or so. So then they contact me usually. But it's very important, I think, to work very hard, and to also, of course, to apply for different things, for exhibitions, but also for grants. But to work very hard and to be interesting for what you're doing, and also to just do what you want, not to look at what's very in now or so. It's very important, I think, also to try to do what you like yourself. It's very important, and to work hard, I think. So.
Yes, thank you. And what's your relationship with writing? You know, sometimes I have the impression that writing became a currency, you know, because sometimes just applying with words, you could get so much from it. So what's your relationship to artist statements, or what you have to write about your work to get grants or to convince people? What's your connection with that?
Yeah, of course, it's more important nowadays as it was maybe for 30, 40 years ago, that you can also write about your work, about your art. And I also have to write something about my art when you applies for example for a grant or something like that, or if you also for catalogs, sometimes they want to have a text. So it's of course, if you can write small texts about your work, it's also good to do that. I think mostly to me, of course, because I like you say before, I work with pictures and I work with this surrealistic thing, and so of course I have to write a little bit, like I said, in catalogs or for when I apply for some things. But for some other artists, it's of course more important if they are working with ideas and something like that, conceptual. Then it's of course even more important if they can do it. And I think it's there are many different artists, and I think it's good because it should also be art should be. Yeah, it's very interesting. If you go to exhibitions, you can see a lot of different artists. So I think it's very good that that the artists they work different. But to say something about the text one more time, it's of course it's good if you can write a little bit about your arts, and even I have to do it sometimes. But to me, I see like my pictures or my art is more important that, compared to my text or so. But it's important to if you can write a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. And you talked about galleries. Could you tell us a bit more about your relationships with galleries in the sense of working relationship? You know, sometimes we hear a lot. I mean, we hear sometimes that artists have sad relations with galleries, or something happened, or they don't give you the work back, or you know, how is it for you in general?
Uh, Mostly, I think it's the galleries that I work with. Mostly, it's has worked very good. I think sometimes you have to wait for the money, but I have. But mostly it works very good, I think, and the galleries I think are very important also because. They are like a friend because if you exhibit your work on, we say, for example, on a museum or an art hall, you make it just one time, and maybe you can come back in 20 years. But a gallery, they work for you the whole every all time they work for you. So they are very important, I think. And they also take parts on this mess art fairs. So I think it's important also to have some galleries. But of course, I have heard a lot also from friends of mine that galleries can be very unpolite. They maybe don't pay the money after that you have sold some works or so. That can also happen. It happens to me once a time also. So it can happen to everyone, I think. That's the most biggest problem, I think, if there are if they don't pay the money to you. But mostly they do it. So I have just it was just once a time for maybe 15 years ago that it happened to me that I didn't get all money that I had to get. But yeah. But mostly it's interesting, and a gallery, if it's a good gallery, they take mostly 50% if they sell a work, but they also have to. It's much money, but that I think it's right that they take this money also 50% because they have to pay rooms in the city of a big town, and they also have to pay transports or everything, or so they have to get this money also, of course. So I see them as a very important thing.
Yeah, thank you. And do you have any connections, or do you meet collectors sometimes, or are you mostly relying on galleries for that, or how do you work with collectors?
Collectors, yes, I have had some of them. So have had a collector in Sweden, for example. He had bought a lot of my really big sized pictures. So he was very good, and it was like this. If I had an exhibition somewhere on a gallery or so, I was the one mostly who contacted him that I have an exhibition or so. So then he came, and mostly he was not interested in my small works, so it was good for me also that he bought the big things. But mostly I contacted him, or the gallery know this collector, and they maybe invited him to come to the gallery or so. So it was sometimes the gallery, sometimes myself who contacted him. Then I have had a collector also here in Germany, and it was also it was also a gallery who had this contact or so. So because they are very important, because if they like the works and they have maybe bought one work, they usually, if they're very interested in art, they usually buy also new works. So they are very important for us artists also. Yeah.
Thank you. And I met you actually this weekend in an art fair.
Yeah.
And you were in a booth which was represented by an association, I would call it, or not-for-profit, who gather a community of artists around one medium, which is etchings or woodcuts, so the graphic arts. How did you meet them, and can you talk about whether you have a membership in other institutions like that, and what you benefit from?
Yeah. It was. I have a membership there at this art gallery, and like you said, they have just artists that making prints or so, like woodcuts, etchings, and something like that. So that they don't have painters. Of course, you can be a painter, but and you can also do graphics, and then you can also have a membership there. So it was like this. I have because to be a part of this gallery, you also got to make an apply for this gallery, and I have done it maybe for 25 years ago, and then they said you can come along, you can be a part of this gallery, and then I have to pay maybe 1,000 crowns or something like that a year, and then I can have this membership, and that's very good for me because I also do exhibitions, or you can maybe sometimes get a grant, or or you can take part on this art fair, for example. And I do because I do this prints also on fabrics. The most of this artists, they do it on paper, but I can take a part also in this association because I making prints. So if someone is interesting to get part on this, Grafiska Sällskapet is the name of this gallery. It's in the middle of Stockholm. It's on Puckeln, Hornsgatan, and there you can get in also to take a look at these different artists, and you can also apply for to be a member. And I just thinking about other memberships. That is one of the memberships. I have some other memberships. It's a association for woodcuts also, where I also have a membership. It's called Sylon. It's International Woodcut Association. And I'm thinking about other memberships, but that's two of them. Okay, that's the membership.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's just because sometimes we don't necessarily think about community, or I think that sometimes artists are quite isolated. You know, so I'm always interested in how you can connect to a community of makers, or how you can get out of this isolation to meet other people. So
it's like, of course, as an artist, I work a lot alone in my studio, and I also like it. But of course, to get connections is like this. Yeah, at the beginning, it was like of these galleries who saw my pictures or my works on an art academy, and so it started. Because I have done it a lot of years now, then now many galleries, art halls, so they maybe know my name or so, but it's also important then to at the beginning, of course, to make, like we talked about before, to make applications for galleries, art halls, grants, and everything like that. And in Sweden, it's very good, I think, with if you talk about grants, for example, because these grants that I talked about earlier, they are very good. This, if you get a grant for 1 year or for 2 years, and from this Konstnärsnämnden, it's very important. But also, of course, sometimes I still have to make applications also for exhibitions like that, because I have to have a lot of exhibitions, because you never know how much or how bad or good you can sell your works. So I have to have a lot of exhibitions. So still I mostly get invitations from art halls or museums or galleries now, but I sometimes also have to make applications for exhibitions, and it's important to still try to get even more exhibition, for example, in Germany or so, or in other countries also. So sometimes I make them myself, my applications also, or they contact me. But of course, you have to know, if you work with art, you work a lot alone in your studio, of course. I like it a lot. But then you also, of course, met a lot of people. For example, I met a lot of people now in Stockholm, as I met you, for example, Mark, or I have for example, now also an exhibition in the north part of Sweden and at the art hall Härnösand. Or I have also exhibition in the south part of Sweden at the gallery. And then I met a lot of people. But between this exhibitions, I also, of course, work a lot alone in my studio. But I like it also, this to be alone and to do whatever I want to do. So I also like that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it's very clear. Zara, if you're there, do you want to ask a question?
Yes, I'm here. But thanks for the presentation. That was really interesting, and yeah, getting the point of view of someone that overcome all the obstacles that we are in. But I don't know, but I just like as I understood, because like I am I moved to Sweden a couple of years ago, and now I'm in Oslo, so moved to another, so kind of traveling back and forth. So how much you think being in an art school is important for you to be part of the art community? Could you find your way in the art community if you haven't studied, for example, in Düsseldorf or I don't know, in Umeå or Örebro?
Yeah, I've started. Yeah, and are you in Oslo now, or have I?
I'm in Oslo, but also I still have a studio in Stockholm, so I'm traveling back and forth.
Okay, I'm a little bit hard to hear what you're saying, but you wanted to know about. You said something about the art academy in Düsseldorf, yeah, and then you wanted to know something else there, yeah. What?
No, I just sorry, I just wanted to know how much you think is important to be in art academy in order to enter to the art community. Like
Yeah.
if you haven't been in an art academy, so you think also it was the easy path for you, or
Also, it's the art academy to study at the art academy. I hope I understand your question right now, but it's very, very important. I think it was mostly important that you can do art all day and you can practice the all day and you can test your ideas and that was really important. But also, of course, that you get connections from the art academy. Without this art academy, I couldn't get these connections, and I think I couldn't make a living on the art without the art academy, because my career started with the art academy and with the last exhibition on the art academy there in Düsseldorf. So I would say for young people who want to be artists, it's they should make an application for the art academy. And I don't think it's so very important where you study, because I think that every art academy is good. But it's very important to have these years to develop something to practice and also to make your to test your ideas and something like that. But also, like I said, it's very important after the academy to get connections. But of course, then it's of course maybe better to be in Stockholm or Düsseldorf or Munich than maybe in Umeå or so if you want to get connections, maybe. Did I understand your question? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, super. Thank you very much. Yes, because I mean, I think there is a lot of, well, also mythology about whether, as an independent artist, if you haven't done an art school, then you're like, oh, am I, it's like kind of almost a self-esteem problem, or it's like, oh, there are them who did the art school and me who didn't do the art school. But I think, well, it can be true because it introduces you to a network, but it's also what you put yourself, in the work. And so, yeah.
Yeah. But I will say that it's of course is very Very important, yeah, and not just when you study at the art academy also, it's not just the professors or the teachers, that's also the other students, because you get in connection with the other students, and that's the most, also some of the most interesting things, I think, because you learn also from the other students. And after the academy, you also have connections with the other students. So every one of the students have some connections. So that's also a very important thing, I think, after the art academy. And it's also nice that you have friends that you can talk about art. That's also a very big thing, I think. So
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much. Do you have any last words to say, to be respectful of your time? We are at 45 minutes now, so if you want to say something to the younger generation, or if you have an advice or something to say for them.
Yes, it was nice that you get me this call, and I like to also to meet young students or so. So it was also nice for me to, and if I could help someone of you with my answer, it will be good. So and I will say, just like I said before, to work hard and just do that what you really like, and test things, and not to give up, because maybe after art academy can be very hard to make your living on art, of course. So not to give up, because at the beginning, as I started as an artist, I have not so much money, but it was like I could buy my ink, and I could have a studio, and I could have something to eat. But of course, you have to when you start after art academy, it's mostly quite hard, so you don't have to give up or so. So it's just to work hard, and to do something that you think is interesting, and something like that. And I also say thank you that you connected me, that you give me this call.
Yeah, thank you so much. You're great, and I really appreciate your work. It's very both beautiful, quite technical, and it has great meaning. So congratulations, because it's really great. And I'll contact you again, and let's continue the conversation. And for the others, well, thank you, and see you later then.
Yes, see you later. Many thanks. Okay, see you later. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Also, bye.